The station is called Edmonton Sports Talk. Obviously, we're going to talk about Edmonton sports, including your Edmonton Oilers, who play a game tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Oilers are looking very, very good lately, and they're looking very, very good in matchups against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've won 7 in a row against the Penguins, outscoring them 37-9 over that run, including a victory earlier this season by the score of 4-0. They won 4-0 in Pittsburgh last season, so 2 consecutive shutouts against the Icebirds. As we dive straight into the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. All right, here's how we expect the Oilers to line up tonight. McDavid between Nugent-Hopkins and Brown. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique centering Jeff Skinner and Hyman. Pretty good line last game. Janmark with Perry and Kapanen. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Josh Brown. And Kulak with Emberson with Stuart Skinner in net. He's 2-0 against the Penguins in his career with a .961 save percentage and a .99 goals against average and a shutout. The Oilers have won 4 straight. They are 15-3-1 in their last 19 games. Looking very, very good. Jay Milne is here. Hi, Jay.
Reidrick, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing lovely.
If Jenny Malkin doesn't look like he's going to play for the Penguins, so keep note of that. And we expect Nedeljkovic in net with the former Oil King Tristan Jarry as your backup. Couple things here we want to touch on with the Oilers, and here's how it's going to work this afternoon. First of all, Luke Gazdic's going to join us at about 20 after 3. He's always great to have on the show. He's on this show every second week, and then in the in-between weeks, he's on the Nielsen Show, so a great part of the Edmonton Sports Talk lineup. At 4 o'clock, Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will take over the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. That'll go until 5 o'clock, and then Jay and I will be back from 5 to 6. If you would like to participate in the show, you can do so, first of all, by jumping into the Nasty Chat on YouTube and talking with us or with each other. If you are in there on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We set a new record for live thumbs up yesterday. Now, a split show today, so it's going to be a little different. But let's just see how high we can get, because if everybody hit the thumbs up right now, we would do 100. Right, we do over 100 right off the bat, which would be pretty cool.
Bang!
You can also text the EST inbox, which is now presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. That's awesome. 780-218-9999. We're going to have our mystery athlete of the game. That's always titillating. By titillating, I mean it annoys a lot of people. But I've made it so it annoys me less and the nasties more. But it annoys them in a way they want to win, though. They want to figure it out.
You've grounded yourself a bit with these clues.
Have I?
You've come back down slightly.
Where was I up to?
Shenanigans. You were actively deterring. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I think this one's a little bit shenanigific. No, maybe not. Maybe it's really easy. Maybe someone will get it after the first clue.
Doubtful.
You're doubtful on that?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
We'll give a couple clues before 4.
Yes.
Remember, you have to text the River Cree inbox to win the $25 GC to Hudson's Canada's Pup. But we'll get to that in a second here. I want to get to a couple clips for the Edmonton Oilers. So, we mentioned those line combinations. We've been talking about that. And head coach Chris Knobloch was asked today, a lot of teams have a top 6 that's strong offensively. It looks like you guys have a really strong top 9.
Well, we also got a 50-goal scorer on the 4th line. We would, that line is obviously very dangerous, and Rico's typically put up, 15 to 25 goals also. So, it makes it a lot more difficult for the other team to match up. If they want to match up, obviously a lot of teams have 2 good pairs that can play against those top lines, and we feel that McDavid's on one, Draisaitl's on the other one. Well, now that 3rd line's pretty dangerous too, because you've got a lot of goals, obviously, with Hyman there with the season that he had. So, and you saw it the other night with Rico getting his too.
I liked how he started off that answer. Oh, by the way, we've got a guy who scored 50 goals on our fourth line, which is Corey Perry. Corey Perry's obviously not going to get there this year, but clearly offensive know-how on the Oilers' fourth line as well. It's been good seeing the balance, Jay. It's been good seeing other lines produce, because I did say earlier in the season, even when the Oilers started going on this incredible run, that I was worried, are they a little too much of a top-heavy team? Well, the last few games, and specifically the last game against Boston, it was everybody. And maybe not every line creates grade A chances all the time, and certainly most players don't have that incredible creativity and offensive presence that McDavid and Draisaitl do, but there wasn't a big drop-off line to line. Like, everybody sort of forechecked, everybody played pretty responsible defensively, and with that game against Boston, it wasn't, well, we got to wait for McDavid or Draisaitl to win the game. It felt more like just somebody's going to score because they're in the right place all the time. And he did say Hyman's not likely going to be on that third line forever. He'll probably be up with McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins eventually. Who knows? Maybe very soon, maybe at some point in the game tonight. But we've seen a very balanced and, fair to say, almost like an efficient Oilers attack lately.
Absolutely, yeah. And why change anything right now if things are going this way? I mean, we talked about it yesterday. If that was one of the most dominant wins you and I have seen this season from the Oilers, and it was pretty darn close. So, I mean, this team is clipping along. They're getting secondary scoring, and we're going to talk about that when we come back in the final hour. I'm going to ask you a question that actually pertains exactly to what you said. If this is a top-heavy team and if that's an issue. So join us later for that. But no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And we also want to get a clip from McDavid here along the same lines, being asked to comment on the depth of the forward core right now, kind of having a top nine. And then it kind of, then Speck asks him a question as well, and McDavid gives an interesting answer to that. Here's McDavid from after the morning skate.
We're deep up front. We got lots of good players up there. It's taken a little bit to maybe find the right combo of players. A little bit of juggling, but you're always going to get that when you got so many players that can play in the top 6 or top 9, as you said. And so there's been a little bit of juggling. But I don't think that's a bad thing. It keeps it interesting. It's always fun to play with different guys. So. That third line played really well in Boston.
Hey, what about playing against that team? Like, some teams have a big burly bottom 6 and a skilled top 6, and you guys are kind of coming at you with 3 lines that can do offensive damage. How much harder does it make you to play against, or different? Or?
Well, I think we're a hard team to play against, just in the sense that everyone's responsible. We're not giving away many freebies. Make you earn what you get. We're not necessarily the most physical team. Not necessarily the most in-your-face team, but, to get through to our net, it usually takes getting through, 3 guys. So, we're pretty solid that way. That's hard to play against. That's frustrating to play against. It might not be as rah-rah as some other teams, but still difficult to play against.
Not as rah-rah as other teams, not as physical as other teams. These are both, items we've talked about in recent days. And it's interesting to know that, they know. Connor McDavid is aware, but that's fine. They're just going to lock you down otherwise. That was interesting. That, I don't know. Have you heard that somebody from the Oilers or another team admit that they're not physical before?
Probably, but I can't remember everything. But he was still praising the team, though. Like, he probably knows the hit stats. It probably gets brought up to him, or maybe even they laugh about it.
They could.
Maybe some guys like, I ran over that guy in the second period and it gave me 0 hits. They'll talk about things like that. But I think he was acknowledging we play a way that gets it done, and if you compare this to the first few games of the season. And of course there are mistakes, and we've talked about a couple of goals they've given up in the last few games where a turnover at the offensive blue line winds up in your net, but they're much fewer and far between. And I also think, Jay, what we're seeing now from the Oilers, they're not hemmed in their zone for long stretches of time. There's a lot of one and done from the other team. There's not a lot of, oh my God, like the Oilers are hemmed in and then, they got the puck and they gave it away again. And I even brought up that play against Boston. Boston had the puck for a while, and then the only pass they had was a low percentage cross-ice pass that missed, and then the Oilers got the puck out right after that. So I think they sort of have become more responsible. I use the word detailed all the time, but I think it's relevant. Are you in the right place? Are you looking around? Are you taking an extra stride to disrupt the play as opposed to giving up a lane? They're doing all those things, which is why they've been banking so many points lately.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it, is detail. Because, you don't have to be physical if you're detailed. If you're doing your job. And it seems like everybody seems to be doing their job obviously more consistently now. And I don't know why that is. I mean, maybe it was gelling. Maybe it was new players that came in, losing players that were here last year. Took some time to get that together. I'm not sure. But yes, there are 3 dangerous lines here.
Which is good to see. And then he makes a good point, or Knobloch made a good point. Like Perry's on the 4th line. He makes plays. Janmark, you know what you're going to get from, and Kapanen's been pretty good, and that's their 4th line. So,
how long do you think Hyman sticks around down there? I mean, let's say things continue and progress the way they have been.
Probably
here.
As long as they keep winning. And then when they want to shake up the lines, that's the first move, is he's back up to McDavid with McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins.
Sure.
I'm going to predict Monday against the Kings he plays most of the game with McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins, because as you know, that's a game I'm highly concerned about because of the quality of the Kings and because of the way the schedule works for the Oilers. It's a home game, but then they're right back out on the road again. They're just home for one game between a 4-game trip and a 3-game trip.
Pretty important game.
All right, let's give the first clue for the mystery athlete of the game, presented by Hudson's Canada's Pub. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can also go to Hudson's Canada's Pub Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. onward. The late night happy hour specials, food starting at $4, drinks from $3.75. Book your reservations now at hudsonscanadaspub.com. We're giving away a $25 gift card. Again, your submissions only through the River Cree inbox. That's texting 780-218-9999. The first clue is 1984. The first clue is 1984. That's the first clue.
Atari.
Incorrect. Is that the year the Atari came? No, the Atari would have been out by then already.
There was a game on, wasn't it called?
Well, was there a game called 1984? There's a book called 1984. It's written by George Orwell.
There you go.
It's quite famous. All right, so the first clue for the mystery athlete of the game is 1984. All right? All right.
There's some demand in the Nasty Chat for Reid Wilkins Show merch.
Probably eventually we'll have some, I would guess.
Really good idea here.
What's that?
From Big Slam Nasty. Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne inside of the Blockbuster logo.
The shape of the torn ticket.
Kind of.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
I wonder if that shape is copywritten.
If it
Or
is,
you
it
could just
doesn't
change the shape a little bit.
Doesn't hold much,
yeah,
can it?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Blockbuster. All right. 780-218-9999 for your guesses. And maximum 3 guesses per phone number. And Jay monitors that. So don't just spam us with every possible athlete you can think of. The first clue is 1984. So, of course, tonight's game features Connor McDavid. It features Sidney Crosby. It features Leon Draisaitl. We don't think it's going to feature Evgeny Malkin, but a pretty good player there nonetheless. Our off-topic topic for William Huff, I think this is going to get people going. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. We would like you to submit to us your all-century team. So these are players in the NHL, and you can only count their careers from 2000 onward. Okay? So, I mean, you could put Mario Lemieux, but really, in this century, he wouldn't be on the all-century team. All right?
My goaltender would be Martin Brodeur, who played both.
But he was still pretty awesome.
He was still pretty dang
awesome
good
this century. So give us 3 forwards, 2D, a goalie, and a coach.
And this is the nuclear forward line.
Well,
If you want.
I didn't do mine by positions. I just
That's
picked
right.
3-4. If you want to, you could say left, center, and right. People can kind of do it their own way. I think I have 2 lefties on D too, don't I? Where's my team? Yes, I do. Anyway, give us your all-century team. So for the 21st century, and for players who played in both the 20th and 21st centuries, only count the 21st century part of their career. So if those years aren't good enough, don't put them on, okay? So that is what we want from you for the off-topic topic for William Huff. It's fun.
It is. I think our forwards are the same.
Well, are the forwards not painfully obvious unless you're going to be a stickler about positions?
Well,
I'm curious to see if we forgot about something or are missing an angle.
Datsuk could be in there. Patrick Kane could be in there. McKinnon.
Oh, they're
could
not
be
on
in
your
there.
team?
No, bro. I mean, I had McDavid, Crosby, and Ovechkin.
Oh, you're giving your team away right now?
Sure, why
Okay.
not? We got 1 hour to shake and bake here until.
Who are your D then?
Who are my
Well,
D?
give your team.
Okay, McDavid, Crosby, Ovechkin.
Good line.
My defense would be Lidstrom and Chicago Blackhawks Duncan Keith,
Okay.
Martin Brodeur,
Okay.
and Joel Quenneville.
Solid.
Not bad.
Good first line. Good 5-man unit.
That line could do some damage. Yes.
They could do some damage for sure.
Who you got?
I'll give mine later if I feel like it.
Wow.
Like if I give mine if I feel like it. The Penguins, by the way, have gone 4 games without a win. I don't call that a losing streak because they have points in 3 of those 4. They're 0-1-3 in their last 4. In their last 3 games, they have 2 shootout losses and an overtime loss. Their power play is dangerous. Since December 1st, the Oilers' power play is 33.3%. Pittsburgh's is 31.3%. Since December 19th, the Penguins are 39.3% on the power play.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's dangerous. So the Oilers' PK will be tested. The Big Uke has his team, McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, Doughty, and Weber on the blue line, and Marc-Andre Fleury in net, and John Tortorella as the head coach. Tortorella did win the Cup.
Sure.
With Tampa Bay, don't forget that, and he's coached a lot of teams. He's not the coach I've picked, though. All right, that's the off-topic for William Huff, your all-century team for the 21st century. Luke Gazdic is standing by to join us. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk.
It's McDavid versus Crosby tonight, seeing Edmonton on the road in Pittsburgh. And you can catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop right here on EST. 9 other games dot the NHL slate with the Stars battling the Flyers, the Sabres against the Sens, and the Bruins facing the Lightning. And in Saskatchewan, the Riders have signed Jake Maier to a 1-year deal, while in the NFL, general manager Tom Telesco has been let go by the Raiders, and Zay Flowers of the Ravens has been ruled out for their game against the Steelers. Elsewhere, the NBA has postponed the Lakers-Hornets game due to ongoing wildfires, while the Raps get set to take on the Cavs on a 7-game schedule. Former Oiler and Sportsnet analyst Luke Gazdic joins us on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your Sports Update.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebration at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
Quick cameo by the drippingly handsome Tom Gazzola. If you're watching on YouTube,
Drippingly handsome.
he will have the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show with Hernan Salas from 4 to 5 this afternoon. So our show will be interrupted. We'll be back between 5 and 6. Justin of Balgoni, here's his all-century team. McDavid, Crosby, and Ovechkin with Pronger and Lidstrom. Jonathan Quick in net. And John Cooper as the head coach. Interesting stuff. We're in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. He joins us every couple weeks on the Reid Wilkins Show. We love having him. It's Luke Gazdic, former Oiler, now Sportsnet analyst, checking in. Well, Happy New Year, Luke.
Happy New Year, guys. How's it going?
Oh, we're doing great. How are things with you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Not bad, actually.
It's nice to see you. I'm going to dive in with our off-topic topic for William Huff. Your all-century team, so you only count the parts of the players' careers that are in the 2000s. 3 forwards, 2D, a goalie, and a coach, if you want to pick one.
Yeah, you gave me this little homework assignment, so I'm not sure if we should have told the viewers that I got this ahead of time, but I actually got the assignment wrong. I thought we were doing only Oilers. So you know how, like on the NHL,
do it.
They're going.
That's fine. That's
they're
fine.
doing. They're releasing them every day, different teams, so they have like 2 teams. Man, this was hard too. Like I wasn't sure where to go, and I'm also. The rules, like positions, are we allowed to flip-flop guys? Is it like 3-4?
Yeah, just do Oilers. That's fine. That's fun too.
Okay, if I'm going 21st century all Oilers teams, I'm going Draisaitl, McDavid, Ryan Smith with Nursey and Pronger. That's my first team all-stars with Stu and net. My second team is Hyman, Hemsky, and RNH. With Clefbaum and Busch and Dwayne Rollison as your goalie.
That's pretty good.
Honorable mentions.
Those are fun.
You know what? Honorable mentions. I really wanted to fit Fernando Pisani in there somewhere. I think he's an absolute rock star and legend for the 06 run he had. Doug Wade, I thought about. Taylor Hall. But it was harder than I thought. But those are my 2 teams there.
Yeah. Well, see, I think Wade only played 1 or 2 years into this century, so that's tough, right? But he was still pretty good. Did you consider Matthias Ekholm?
Yeah, it's right there. You know what? The thing with Cleffy, I have a soft spot for Clef because I loved him so much as a guy and as a teammate. Like, he was one of my favorites. And I was gone by the time he was on the team, played all 82 of the year. He scored the winning goal to win the first round for them, right? Like after the 13-year playoff drought. Is that correct?
He tied the game that Desharnais won in overtime. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, something like that.
He got a late tying goal in Game 5 against the Sharks, and then Desharnais won it in overtime. David, obviously, not Vincent, from Draisaitl. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? X is right in there too. I didn't even really think about Pronger. Like Pronger was only there for that short amount of time. I think you could flip him and Eki out. I think when this is all said and done, Matthias Ekholm's probably going to be one of the best Oiler defensemen of all time.
Yeah. All right. Fun project. I'm sorry I didn't clarify for you, but you still did a great job on the assignment. But yeah, I meant we asked the listeners for all NHL because of Crosby and Sid. Well, and Leon,
I mean, give me Crosby, McDavid, Ovechkin. Give me Keith and Doughty, Coop coaching. There you go.
Like this is fun because people love this. Rod Z says, but David Kucherov and McKinnon, Makar and Hedman, and Cooper coach. Like maybe he just picked active guys. You know
Hedman's hard to ignore.
There's so many ways we could have done it. It's pretty fun.
Well, and
there was only a couple. Yeah. There were only a couple guys. Like I got to play against a couple of those guys. Hedman was one. I got to play in Tampa against them, and just the pure size and athleticism. Like I was like almost starstruck. Going into Chicago too. I know the boys are going into Chicago on Saturday. My first game at the United Center was like in the heat of the 2010s. Like when they were rolling the Madhouse on Madison. I remember trying to forecheck on Keith and Seabrook. I went to finish a hit on Duncan Keith, and they were up into play and gone before I even knew what was going on. I don't know if I've told you this before, Reid. Oh my gosh, they got caught out on the D zone. Patrick Kane was wheeling up the wall, and the Chicago Blackhawks, because the 2010s, are famous for their ozone motion. So they would send Seabrook down the middle, Kane's rolling up the wall. They were never stagnant. And so I'm standing there like a bump on a log, waving my stick and like getting yelled at by Todd McClellan or whoever it was. And we had to go and practice, and we would literally practice for them. Like we would practice for exactly what the Hawks were running, that ozone motion. But I think it started with me eating a couple minuses against the Kane line. I don't know still to the day what I was doing out there against them.
But that's the great teams, right? And we talk about that in football. They do what they're good at, and teams still can't stop. Like I always say, hey everybody, I'm going to tell you a little secret here. In the 1980s, everybody knew that Joe Montana was looking for Jerry Rice. Still
and
found
they
him
still made it work.
Times
Yeah, exactly. No, it was fun, man. It was fun. I know they're struggling these days, but man, there was nothing like going into the United Center back then. It was electric.
I just want to keep you in the United Center right now, and just what is that like? That is the only arena in the NHL that screams during the national anthem, the U.S. national anthem. When you're on the bench, your first time visiting there, what was that like?
Chills, man. I'm getting the hairs on my forearms standing up right now thinking about it. There's no way to describe it. And I think people that haven't been there would be shocked at the actual size of that building. Like you look up from the bench and it is all the way to the ceiling. There's 21,000 in there. It might be 22,000 in there, packed all the way to the top. It looks like a huge bowl and then two huge rings of fans. It's just like no other atmosphere in the league. Like it was one of the coolest experiences of my career. When I look back and I put a couple things at the top of the list, getting to play at the Bell Center and MSG and getting to play against some of these legends, like UC is right up there.
Okay, so what about the first time you played against Crosby? Do you remember that?
Yeah. I might have told you this before too. I was like so excited to play against him. He's my guy. Like my favorite player. Growing up at the time, I did when he came into the league, like just an absolute icon. And so they rolled into Rexall, and this is my rookie year. And I was playing on the line with Boyd Gordon, and I'm going to say it was Anton Lander, maybe. Anyway, it was Gordo. Gordo's the only person that matters in this story. And we got caught out on a really long shift, and we end up back in the D zone. We end up icing the puck. We're out there for like 90 seconds already. I'm huffing wind. Look over at the bench. I'm like, give us a timeout. They're like, no, you guys got this. So obviously, and who comes over the Pittsburgh boards? Kunitz, Malkin, Crosby with Letang on the back end. And in one part of my mind, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. But on the other part, I'm like, we're done. Like, I'm donezo here. I'm getting scored on. And I went to Gordo and I said, you always have a play off the D zone draw. Like whether it's D to D, out the weak side, whether it's strong side, reverse, you always have something you're running. I skated over to Gordo. I said, Gordo, what's the play, buddy? What are we doing here? And he just took a deep breath and went, just survive, buddy. Just survive. He's like down. He's got a stick on his knees. I didn't get out there very much against him after that, but I think I've told you this before, Reid. I tried not to get starstruck in the league. I did early in my career, but then, I realized at the same time you're battling against these guys. Like you got to kind of put that aside. But Sid was one of the whole time I played against him in my career. I could never get past that. Like every time I was playing against him or out on the ice against him, I was like, holy crap. Like, yeah, that's Sid. That's awesome.
I don't think you told me that before. Because I think I remember that Boyd Gordon story where he's just like, no, don't have any X's and O's, Luke.
He actually did. He went down to one knee, snapped it back. We went hard off the glass, and I sprinted to the bench as fast as I could skate. Took a seat.
Hey, before we talk about a little bit on tonight's game and probably the Bills as well, we should get something on that. I want to flash back to 2 nights ago. So Zadorov goes to the net and runs over Skinner. Now, first of all, and I said this yesterday, I said, the Oilers played great. Let's not let that become the story of the game. And I also said they have fought at other times this season. Now, my take was you should at least face wash Zadorov or grab his collar and give him some jabs. I'm not saying just start. That's me. Now, as you know, I didn't play in the NHL, but I'm comfortable having an opinion. But you had a role in the NHL. What did you think of that whole sequence and how the Oilers handled it?
Yeah, how do you think I felt about it? I'm snapping. You know what? I do feel like I'm this like old man yelling at the TV sometimes. I just don't think guys take things as personally anymore. Like I really don't. Like you have guys like apologizing to each other on the ice, and you have guys thanking each other for fights in the box, and like it's just become so like friendly. And I in one way, like I kind of get it. Like maybe you don't want to take a penalty in that spot. You know what? I did the Canucks game last night, and first period, Pierre-Luc Dubois took about 6 shots in about 10 seconds at Quinn Hughes, and nobody did anything. So it's not like a singular incident. Like I cover the league and I see this a lot. I will say that the teams that I remember really being a unit of 5 on the ice, like obviously a whole team, but like anything happening in front of the net, the Tampa Bay Lightning come to mind for me, like the Florida Panthers. You think that happens to Bobrovsky against Boston there on Tuesday? I think there's a bit of a different reaction. I understand they get to win the game anyway, but yeah, it drives me nuts. I wish something would have happened in that moment or even down the line. Like I remember a lot of situations like that where maybe it wasn't meant to happen in that moment, but at least like, well, with Zadorov, you don't even have to take a number. You see the guy coming from a mile away, but take a number and just, put that in storage for next time. I don't know. I don't think Josh Brown played too much after that, but still get him out a couple times. It's tough in situations on the road, I will say, because the opposing team, they can really hide those guys. Like I've been in situations on both sides of it where your head coach will watch line matches and protect you against anyone. So if he sees, say, Brown coming over the boards, he's not going to put the Zadorov pair there. But I don't know if the game's changed or if it's just this team in particular, but I do wish there was just a little more animosity in situations like that where you see your starting goalie get absolutely blown up.
Well, Luke, I get the sense how you're going to answer this, but as you know and as you alluded to, Zadorov did apologize to Stu Skinner during the game, early second period. Have you ever apologized to anybody during a game?
During a game, man, I don't.
I'll even
think
open
so.
it up to after you run.
You know what? Like, no, I honestly don't. Like, I didn't do a ton of. wasn't an incredibly dirty player throughout my career. There wasn't moments that I can think of where I was reaching out to a guy who I knocked out or anything like that. And maybe after a fight, I'm thinking now maybe Kevin Westgarth after we fought in Edmonton. But no, I still can't figure out and understand why guys can't put that aside just for like 60 minutes. Even if that apology comes after the game, I'm even okay with that. It's just like, can we not just put that stuff aside for 60 and just go toe to toe here and like, keep the pleasantries aside for 3 periods and like 2.5 hours of your time. That was my whole thing. Was I was fighting guys. That wasn't even entering my mind. So no, I didn't do it a ton over my career. And it, to be honest, kind of drives me nuts that it does.
Well, and I don't want to harp on it too much, but did you find it odd that of all people to apologize, it was Nikita Zadorov?
It's true. It's like, what are you apologizing for? You knew exactly what you were doing. You just drove right into the goal. Like he didn't make any effort to get out of the way. Like I was almost as big as Z was, and you have pretty good control of your body, especially if you're driving the net as a 6'7" D man. Like his path was straight into Stu. Like he was not trying to avoid that. So yeah, you can tell me you apologize, but I'd still want to have some sort of response for that.
It is. I'm glad you brought up last night's game too, though, and I didn't see much of what you were talking about earlier. Like we had it on here, but I can only kind of half watch it when we're on air. But late in the game, I mean, Wilson is going after Garland, and that size difference is basically like you and me, right? Like,
yeah, I know.
And no Canuck really jumped to Garland's. Like Juleson sort of, and he got an unsportsmanlike, but for lipping off, like it.
Yeah, it was wild. I usually, I don't go in too much, and I don't think I was, too harsh on it, but I chose my speaking time in between the first and the second period to make light of that. That here's fake tough guy Pierre-Luc Dubois around, can't defend himself right now. He's got a hurt hand. Dubois takes 3 or 4 shots at him, takes a shot at him on the way to the penalty box, like knocks him down with a cross check. And I'm just like, man, has the game changed or what? Like, what is going on? I just said, man, they got to have a little bit of a team meeting and maybe take matters into their own hands. But like, I draw it back to what I said originally. I just don't think guys take it as personal anymore, which it's just a different mindset.
I do hand it to the audience will be mad at me for giving a Canuck player credit for anything. Like I do hand it to Garland. Like I thought he got interfered with at the end of the game by Wilson, and Garland just went and cross-checked him. I mean, but I guess with Wilson, a guys like that, like who's really going to do anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. There are too many guys sticking up to 43. And man, I played against Garland all the way from the minors. He was in Tucson. My last 2 years pro, their fourth line in Tucson was Michael Bunting and Connor Garland. Imagine those two little rascals running around. Garland is one of the best at the league at stirring the pot. And yeah, I think Tommy just said enough's enough. And yes, that probably was interference, but not too many guys are going to mess with 43 on the Caps these days.
Okay, before we let you go, as always, incredible analysis and incredible storytelling. That's why we love having you on. 6 NFL games this weekend, including the Buffalo Bills. You're jumping into the postseason. I think Josh Allen's the MVP of the league, but everybody starts with 0 wins now. How do you feel going into Sunday?
I'm not going to lie, not great. I have all the confidence in them playing at home. I have all the confidence in Josh Allen, but I just look at the schedule, and the Broncos just give me I don't know. There's something about that Broncos team that I don't love, but I still think they're going to get it done. Like,
9-point spread, Luke.
I don't know if they're covering 9, but I think they'll be okay here. But there's just something about Denver in this matchup that I don't love. I don't love.
Okay. Well, I think they're going to win, Luke.
I think they're going to win.
I think they're going to win.
But Denver, there is something.
Yeah,
you're right.
Denver's got an experienced
I think
coach.
it's going to be closer.
Yeah.
I think that spread's a little much for me. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay. You're not working tonight. Are you going to just sit and watch the Oil? Just casually?
Night off, buddy. Night off. I got Yeah, I got the Oil at 7 and Leafs play at 7:30. I'll probably have those two on same time. 2 screens, baby.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for hopping on. You'll be on with Dusty and Eric next week, us again in a couple of weeks. Of course, we love having you. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for another great hit.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Luke Gazdic, former Oiler and now Sportsnet analyst, checking in. He is outstanding. And he's still very early in his broadcasting career when you think about it. I love the way he explains things. I love how he tells stories. And he's one of those guys, like, he's so humble. Like, and I have found a lot of athletes do these. They always tell the stories where they look kind of silly because I think they're worried, well, A, especially in hockey, like, you don't brag. But B, probably as humans, you remember the awkward moments more than the happy moments, which is maybe something we need to address as a species. But I love that. I'm out there for an icing. And I'm thinking, well, we're going to get scored on here, Boyd. What do we do? There's the old sage Boyd Gordon. Luke, just survive. I don't have a play for you, buddy. Okay, kid? Try and get the puck out. That's our play. That's our play. That was awesome with Luke, as always. Of course, portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra cool. TrackMan golf simulators now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit thecanadianicehouse.com. We will have my top 3, and we'll have the second clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. It's 3:42. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If everybody smashes it now, we would be well over 100 within the first hour of the show. And remember, we only have 2 hours today, so click it and get us there. Here comes the Coop.
It's the Oilers Penguins tonight with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas previewing the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST at 4 p.m. Other games have the Kraken playing the Blue Jackets, Toronto visiting Carolina, and the Golden Knights battling the Islanders on a 10-game NHL slate. The CFL sees the Riders signing Jake Maier to a 1-year deal, while the Raiders in the NFL have fired general manager Tom Telesco, and 7 games dot the NBA slate, seeing the Raps tip off with the Cavs, while the Lakers-Hornets game has been postponed due to the LA wildfires. This sports update is presented by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. Reid's Top 3 brings us back on the other side of the break here on The Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to JamesHBrown.com.
This is your chance to win big with the Split the Pot Lottery. Support the Capital Care Foundation to help Alberta seniors get the care they deserve and support more healthcare foundations across the province. With a grand prize draw that grows with every ticket sold, the jackpot is hundreds of thousands and just keeps getting bigger. Visit splitthepot.ca and buy your tickets now. Don't forget to pick Capital Care Foundation as your foundation of choice. Next jackpot is January 16th, license number 713959.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
All right, great to have Luke Gazdic on the show. Tom Gazzola ready to pounce into the studio here. He and Hernan will do the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Gager, are you on it too? No. Oh, Gager's like, no, Reid, don't ever talk to me again.
Is that the riff from Jesse's mom?
No.
Jesse's mom.
Stacy's mom. Jesse's
Sorry.
girl.
Jesse's girl.
And
Oh my.
Stacy's mom.
Hey, that's
Okay?
a goof up. We haven't had goof ups.
We got a lot of goof ups.
Good for me.
Second clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. You must text your guesses to the River Cree inbox. Maximum 3 guesses per phone number. We'll stop acknowledging your guesses after the third one. The second clue is Kings. So the first clue was 1984. The second clue is Kings. All right? Good, brah?
What's up, brah?
And then we'll give, if nobody gets it in the next 15 minutes, we'll give more clues between 5 and 6.
I do Bronco Nix in it. He says, if Buffalo cannot pressure Nix, they are in trouble. Rushing from 3 good backs and Nix himself along with Mims Jr.
We met Bronco Nick last week, didn't we? Wasn't he here?
I don't know. Yeah.
He likes the Broncos. I believe he likes the Elks and Oilers as well. Are those his 3 teams?
Sure, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, I guess most people in our audience would like the Oilers and the Elks, but and Lars Wise in the Nasty Chat, he was here earlier.
Yeah, he was in today.
We got to meet him. Our off-topic topic for William Huff, your all-century team in the NHL. So 3 forwards, 2D, and a goalie. Here's an interesting one from Mex Bezozu. Up front, Ovechkin, Crosby, McDavid. Those are going to be 3 popular picks. He has Pronger and Carlson on defense, and he has Carey Price in net. Carey Price went to 1 cup final and was the goalie on a lot of Canadians teams that weren't that great. Does somebody get it?
Somebody got it.
That is awesome. I was wondering if somebody might get it after 2 clues. I wonder how they got it, though. Are you sure somebody got it? Yes, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Who got it?
Collingwood Rob.
Collingwood Rob. Thinking like me. Should we give it out now? We'll give it out now. That's fine. So he gets the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete. See, I'm not mad about this one because I thought there's a chance somebody could get it after 2.
You did say that.
I said there's a chance somebody could get it after 2 guesses.
You really have to be.
Yeah, you got to be thinking about how I may or may not be trying to mislead people. The first clue was 1984. The second clue was Kings. Maybe I should have given the third clue second. The third clue was 47. The final 2 clues were Mets and Braves. It's Tom Glavine, the pitcher. He was drafted 69th overall by the Los Angeles Kings in 1984. I was reading his page earlier today. He was drafted ahead of Brett Hall. So Collingwood Rob wins it. That's good stuff.
Wow, congrats.
That's good.
Coob will get in touch with you there in the River Cree inbox.
Oh, will you really now, Coop?
I'll try. We did get a lot of people.
We might have to push the top 3 back.
We could
do it after 5 with whatever else we're doing.
Yeah, we could. McDavid, Crosby, Iginla, Chara, Lidstrom, Price, and Cooper. And if the Reid Wilkins show logo isn't the Def Leppard, what are we even doing?
Font.
I
think they meant font.
Yeah. There's been like several people.
I saw somebody else posted that as well. Well, we'll see. We don't have the merch because we do these pop-up stores. Is that how we do the merch?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Well, we could just make our own merch.
Damn right.
Well, you and me working in a sweatshop in our garage sewing shirts. I'm out of blue thread, Jay. Use purple.
My wife has an embroiderer.
Oh, really?
For her business. Yeah.
For the horse stuff?
Yeah.
The horse blankets? Is
Yeah.
that what they're called?
Yeah.
The horse covers?
The horse blankets, yes.
They're called blankets, Reid.
If your horse needs a blanket, shop at ajequinesupply.com.
Oh, is that the name of the company? Why
Yes.
don't they have commercials?
They just did.
Oh, there's the one right there. If you're texting us, of course, it is the River Cree inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Okay, do we have any other all-century teams?
Lots.
Oh, also, is the Fun Spiel still have presented by Lloyd Sad Insurance Brokers?
It is.
Is it sold out? Or is there space?
That I don't know.
Where's Iwanek?
He had to step out.
Maybe tell us what's going on.
So on February 15th, it is presented by Lloyd Sad Insurance Brokers at the Shamrock. Nasty Cup annual members get first dibs on registrations. And they are, I think, very close to being sold out. Teams are $300 registration will be open to everybody come Monday. So if you are interested, get after it Monday. Ovechkin, Crosby, McDavid, Pronger, Carlson, and Price. I looked at Carlson quite closely.
Yeah, you did. He's good.
He's good. It just the championship pedigree was not there, obviously, with Ottawa.
Okay.
Pronger. Now people are doing. Well, this one's interesting from Big Slam Nasty. Hemsky, McDavid, and Ovechkin. Pronger, Lidstrom, and Rolison. Give me Todd Nelson.
That's
behind
like
the
a
bench.
combination of Oilers and the league. Okay.
But yeah, we can do our top.
We'll
three.
do the top three.
You should say what it is, though.
It's going to be my top three names that they should have called the Penguins. I don't know why.
Why does
Maybe
it
it's
bother
just because when I was a little kid, the Penguins were terrible, and I think my dad used to make fun of them.
Do you know why they were named that?
The Penguins?
Yeah.
Because it starts with a P, as far as I know.
But was it like a
And it's
crowd
cold.
search or like?
Well, I think I read there was a bunch of recommendations.
Right.
A bunch of people
But
submitted.
it was pretty cool that they called their barn the Igloo.
Yes, I get it. It
Like that
all
was-
all works for hockey and cold weather and ice and all that kind of stuff. And I guess penguins are a decently sized bird. They don't appear overly mobile.
Well, and
here's Crosby waddling through center.
Oh, and he slips on the
He
ice.
slips on the ice.
And a belly slide into the net.
Here's Morgan Freeman narrating it all. Wasn't there a March of the Penguins movie that he narrated?
I'm there for that. I love stuff like that. I could watch it 24/7.
So I'm going to do my top three names they should have called the Penguins. I just don't think the Penguin is an overly menacing bird. And I get it. You can look at any team name and say, well, why is it that? Like, what's scary about a maple leaf? You know? I mean, some people even like, well, what's an Oiler? Well, we got oil here. But I get it. But I think there could have been better names for the Penguins. So I'm going to top three names they could have named the Penguins. My all-century team is Crosby centering McDavid and Ovechkin, moving McDavid over to the wing. I went with Lidstrom and Hedman on defense. I know they both shoot left. Keith was pretty high up for me. I am putting Henrik Lundqvist in net.
Sure.
And I got John Cooper as the coach.
I mean, that's the beauty of a lot of these lists is nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's a hypothetical, but it's fun to do. And this was how was this? This was born out of Dustin's top 10 players of all time.
I think I thought of this before he said he did his top 10 this morning. And then he's doing 11 through 20. I just thought because to me, it's difficult to think that you wouldn't have McDavid and Crosby. Like, to me, McDavid's already one of the top players this century. I mean, it's 10 years in the league. That's not a small sample size. So anyway, that's why we did that. And then wasn't it you that said, let's do a coach as well?
Yeah. Got to have
you
the
got
coach.
Cooper, Quenneville, Sutter, Torts. He hasn't. Oh no, he did win a cup, and he's coached a bunch of teams like Laviolette.
Don't forget Boudreau.
What about Trotz? Now people are submitting their names for Pittsburgh Painters, Pittsburgh Iron, Pittsburgh Grinders. What about the Pittsburgh Girders? Steel Girders?
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. I like Grinders though. That's a good one.
I got a couple.
Do it.
Pittsburgh Blades.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Alloy.
Well, the Ally. Wow, that's something.
Pittsburgh Monogalea.
After the river?
Or Pittsburgh Allegheny.
After one of the rivers.
Yeah, the three rivers.
All right. We'll do that when we get back. We're going to have our afternoon debate. We'll have the Marmot Basin ski report. Tom and Hernan coming up with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Oilers and Penguins face off at 5. Jay and I will talk to you then.